Welcome back to Scoreline. Adam Hunt, Aaron West here in the studio as we recap some of the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers from Wednesday. Starting with Panama hosting Suriname in Group A, and that was the Panama fans having a nice little party outside the Suriname team hotel before the game in the early hours. A little bit cheeky there.
I love it. I love
these
it.
two,
I love it.
the top two in the group, level on 5 points. So it was an important game, and it was Suriname who took the lead in the 21st minute.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the dancing really did much. This is a brilliant ball for Richonel Margaret, who finishes it, makes it 1-0 for Suriname.
I was going to use the sort of dancing round the defenders quote there, but
I'll take it.
No real need. He tapped it in. In the 87th minute, there was a huge penalty shout here, but it wasn't given.
Yeah, in Women's Champions League, we saw about 25 penalties for handball today, but this one was not given correctly, I believe. Tucks that arm in, it hits his elbow, he's trying to get out of the way. VAR makes the correct decision in the 96th minute.
Yeah, we would have some really late drama. Ball into the box. Not quite sure that he knew that was going to go in, Ismael Diaz, but he'll take it.
He's hunting it the whole way to make sure it doesn't trickle outside that post. It's not pretty. It doesn't matter, though. Ismael Diaz will, like you said, take it.
1-1 draw. Elsewhere in the same group, we had El Salvador against Guatemala, all so close in Group A. Any one of the four teams could really qualify. Not the greatest pitch here. Groundsman,
what are you talking about, Adam?
Shameful for the groundsman there. 46th minute, it was Guatemala. Oscar Santis with the goal.
Oscar Santis laces this one to the far post. I don't know if the pitch conditions play any part in that, but that would be the only goal of the match.
That was a pitch from the 90s, that one. Look how close it is. 6 points for Suriname and Panama. They are locked on +1 goal difference as well, so nothing to tell between those two. Guatemala on 5 points from 4 matches. El Salvador on 3. So anyone's guess who's going to go through that one. We're going to head over to Group B. We have a couple of games to look forward to in this one as well. Curacao hosting Trinidad and Tobago. 2 wins has Curacao in second going into this one, while Trini have only 1 win so far this qualifying campaign. Inside 20 minutes, Curacao ahead.
Yeah, Curacao are dreaming of that World Cup, and this will have them continue to dream. A fantastic finish, curled finish from Kenji Gore into that top corner. Makes it 1-0. For Curacao.
Huge celebrations there. We go into the second half. Trini working their way back into the game on the road, and they got their equaliser.
Look at that touch from Rio Cardenas, and then Tyrese Spicer latches onto that one and absolutely smashes it home for the equaliser.
Tyrese Spicer, friend of the show, of course. We've had him on before. That was a good finish from him. Jamaica holding the cards in Group B at the moment. They were top of the group, heavy favourites ahead of their game at home against Bermuda. 3 defeats in a row, meanwhile, for Bermuda, and it didn't start particularly well for them. An own goal in the 24th minute.
Yeah, really eventful couple minutes. Dante Leverock unfortunately heads that one. It's a great header, just on the wrong side.
2 minutes later, it was 2-0 to the home side.
There's Bobby Cordova-Reed sliding that one home. He's not going to have too many easier finishes than that. Smashes off the post, though. He might have missed it almost.
And there was this period, wasn't there, of about 15 minutes where Jamaica just completely put this game to bed. Here they are with their third.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice finish there from Shamar Nicholson. It's a good ball in there, gets it across his body, turns that one home and makes it. It would end 4-0 for Jamaica on the night.
Yeah, there was another later goal in that one to finish 4-0, as you said, and Jamaica are top of the group just by a single point from Curacao, so it's going to be very close at the top there. Trinidad and Tobago, they're in third on 5 points. Bermuda, good night, because they've had 4 matches so far, still haven't got a single point and 4 defeats. And I think, for me, this CONCACAF qualifying period is the most interesting region because, as we've seen, both of those groups there, it's anyone's guess who's going to go through.
Yeah, this is the beauty of a 48-team World Cup. We can talk ad nauseum about some of the negatives of continuing to expand the World Cup, continuing to expand. We've heard of 64 now. I don't know where we're going, but 48, we see some of these teams like a Curacao. We've talked about Cape Verde coming so close to qualification. They've made qualification. But the beauty of it is that we're seeing some of these nations who've never even have a sniff at the World Cup come so close And this World Cup will be a big celebration of that kind of joy, because some of these teams would have never had a shout ever at getting to the World Cup with the old format.
You're absolutely right, and plenty of the usual suspects, when you look down the teams that have already qualified, are in that group. But also we've got some of those lesser-known teams that are going to be playing in the World Cup for the first ever time. You mentioned Cape Verde there. You've got Jordan. You've got Uzbekistan as well, I think, who have never been in a World Cup before. And I think, as you said, this was the point of this new format, was to expand it, to give an opportunity for teams that would never have had an opportunity to come through qualifying before, never been anywhere near a World Cup. And also, and we've talked about this with Cape Verde in the past, the trickle-down effect that will have to see these players and see their team playing at a World Cup, and that trickle-down effect for football in those countries where arguably, and we're seeing the scenes of celebration here, arguably football is able to have more of an impact on society than it would in a developed country like it would in the US, for example.
Yeah, it almost seems cliched, but it is 100% the truth. Football can change lives. It can change the trajectory of some of these nations. It can change the trajectory of a lot of these footballing nations when it comes to finally making a World Cup, inspiring at home, inspiring official federations to sink more money and to divert more resources properly into their football programs. These are the types of things that can really, really change large swathes of people's lives. So it's a really exciting thing to see at this point.
Let's have a quick look at the teams that have already qualified, because, as I said there, we've had a lot of teams that have already through. Obviously, Canada, the US and Mexico already qualified. They were straight through as the host. Some of the usual suspects in there, the big teams that you would expect always to be playing at World Cups, the likes of Brazil, Colombia, and Ecuador there from CONMEBOL, but also these surprises, these teams that we've not seen playing before. We mentioned Cape Verde there, who've come through CAF. We've got Jordan, Uzbekistan, even Qatar, and the impact that having the World Cup the last time around has made for them. Saudi Arabia, we're going to be seeing them at the World Cup as well. And I think there is a potential, and some people are looking at this format and just saying, oh, well, all you're doing is just adding that last stage of the qualifying to the World Cup itself, and all these teams are going to go out early stages. But these are going to be teams that some of the big guys aren't going to have ever seen before. They're not going to be used to where they're going to play. They're going to obviously be inspired, having a shot at the big time. And I do believe that there will be some big upsets in those early stages where, someone big, I'm not saying necessarily England or a Brazil, might take someone like a lesser team in it too kindly, and they'll end up losing.
It will 100% happen. Someone will cause an upset. It will be one of the most beautiful things we'll see in the World Cup. It'll be one of the stories of the World Cup. It's teams like Curacao with the chance to get in, Cape Verde, like you mentioned, to get in. South Africa haven't made a World Cup since they hosted the World Cup in 2010. They have made the World Cup because of this expanded format. These are the stories we want to see, even though maybe you can call it diluting the quality of the product a bit in terms of pure footballing quality. The stories are what will make this incredible.